Welcome back to the Old Bull and Young Calf Boston Sports Podcast. Once again, we're on the move, and it's been a while. I've been in a somewhat of a sports depression after the Celtics, and now something new's happening. We got Tim. We're on Cohasset. Tim is, I don't know if he's getting cut off. There we go. And the Old Bull is back in Florida. Everything's doom and gloom, but there's something to look forward to. NHL draft. I'm excited. There's a lot to talk about. Seventh overall pick. Dad, how do you feel after this layoff and getting here to the draft?
First, let's get to the sponsors. If you
Oh,
need a
sponsors. My bad.
therapist in the Pinellas County area, William McCormick is your man. If you need some boba or some yummy pho in St. Pete Beach, Florida, Cinnabon and Moonlight Boba, that's where to go. And Sip and Savior, my little cousin up in Grafton, amazing protein drinks to start your day. Look her up. So, I mean, the Bruins right now are a sore subject with the old bull. Okay, when I found out they were bringing Sweeney back, as past shows have told, it just went up my rear sideways. I just cannot stand it. Everything is set up for Sweeney to at least get through the night without me and Bruins fans hating him. It's so simple. Because we got screwed in the lottery, we ended up with the seventh pick. As far as I'm concerned, and just about everybody else in the hockey world is concerned, there are seven really good center slash forwards. The number one guy is going to be a defenseman. Screw that. We don't want anything to do with him. I don't care if that dude, by some miracle, fell to us at seven. I want nothing to do with a defenseman. I don't care how good he is. I don't care if he's the next Ray Bork. And that kills me to say that because we're that star for offensive talent that we can't even consider the guy, even if he fell to us. So it's all set up for Sweeney. Don't get cute. Don't. I don't want to see any players outside of these seven forwards I'm about to see. And trust me, it's an amazing graphic that the old bull made. Okay. I'm always teaching my son computer things and all that stuff. And, Tim, you can take a lesson while you're here too. So we're going to show you that soon. And we have old comparison hockey
Oh,
players to let you know who they compare to in these guys. As you can see, my
I
son
know
is a
the
little
technical
computer illiterate.
difficulties.
Just bear with him.
The
Yep,
technical difficulties
absolutely.
already popping
So,
up.
yeah. But it's don't trade back. Don't trade back, that's for sure. And just make all you got to do is pick one of these seven players, Sweeney, and you'll be fine for the night. We won't, show up at your houses with pitchforks and, fire.
I just, this classical bull with the hyperbole. You got the Ray. If this guy's Ray Bork, we should pretty much trade like next year's draft to go get him. I don't know why you would slander Ray Bork like that, but I mean, yeah, like there's a lot here. Tim and I have been watching some videos, and it seems very like like a bunch of like copycats, right? I heard so many different things from the same guys as we were watching about all these different guys. Tim, how do you feel about these seven forwards? My dad's talking like. I mean, we really haven't looked at drafts like this historically, and now here we are. So it's all new.
Yeah, this is new territory for us. I don't know what's happened in previous years. It's just like Sweeney somehow has slid under the radar and no one really cares.
Yeah,
But here we are. So I think of the seven forwards, honestly, give me any one of them. I don't really care. We just need a good forward. Some of them look really slick. I definitely gravitate towards those that have really good skating speed. Getting off the line, that quick extra step, especially if we are looking to long term replace what Marchand would give us in that sort of area as well. But I think at the end of the day, we do prefer getting a really good center. I think I don't know if any of the ones we looked at are Bergeron-esque in that sort of mold.
yeah.
But I think there's still a decent number of good centers, I'm hoping we pick up one that
That's
that
a
produces.
That's a really good like comment. So number one, like the skating speed, that's an immediate knock at my dad's number one guy. No spoilers, but if you've read any scouting reports on the different guys, my dad's favorite that we're going to be talking about a second, takes very short strides. Like so he skates like he's a duck. So we got to watch out for that. Even though my dad's in love with him, the two way, I felt like there was one guy who was talked about for his two way ability, but almost all these guys when I was watching I should honestly credit the guy who I watched YouTube videos on because he did a good job. But almost all of them have like a decent compete level. They all have a great shot, and they're all facilitators. Um, they're getting points at a huge clip in the league that they're all in, which I respect, and some really fancy passes, which of course will be much tougher in the NHL. But there was a lot to be excited about with these 7 guys. So, like you, Dad, it's very hard to screw this up. But
Yeah, no, it's a good draft.
yeah,
It's a good draft. And, it's funny because, we were saying that through the end of the Bruin season that whatever you do, just don't drop below 5 as far as the standings go, because we knew that the furthest you can go back is 2 spots. We did not want to go below 7. It turns out there's actually 8, so we could have drove back to 8 and still been okay with a good forward. But really, after the first 7 forwards, there's a drop off in tiers. There's a significant drop. We're in a good spot. Sweeney just does not need. He just needs to not screw it up. It's as simple as that. There's one guy that he's like a wild card. He is not in my top 7, and that's McQueen. Some say that
really,
heck, this guy could
wow.
have won 1 overall if it wasn't for his injury history. And he's off my list. I don't want anything to do with him. 3 years of back issues. He's saying he's okay now. I don't care. I don't want to take a risk on that. And McQueen is kind of like what N'Keal Harry is to the Patriots with me. Anytime there's like a large, thick receiver that's supposed to be good, I'm like, I don't want anything to do with him because I have trauma from N'Keal Harry. Like, so the McQueen guy, who else is 6'5" that the Bruins drafted recently that looks like an absolute disaster already?
Yeah,
Mr.
I forget his
Letourneau.
name, but it's Letourneau.
Letourneau,
Letourneau.
BC, 1
They
goal,
let him
3
go, right?
assists for Boston
I
College
didn't know they
last
let
year.
him go. They
No, they didn't
traded
let
him
him
to let go
go.
Letourneau, right?
I don't know if he's
No, no,
still if
no.
he's
No, they just drafted him last year with their
he was
first
their first
overall
round pick last year.
I need to
with their
look this
first
up. I
round
feel
pick.
like I read something.
Letourneau.
No, I know. Yeah.
No,
No,
and I
this
mean, so I think the last guy I watched that was McQueen, and again, like he's like a Porzingis. I think would be he's like a unicorn. Uh,
yeah.
great athletic ability, the way he skates, his size, all that stuff. The question is the same thing as Porzingis is the injuries. So I mean, if they draft
He's a
him,
freak.
if
Yeah.
they draft him, you have to hope that they've had we have some great doctors here in Massachusetts. They've had people look at this kid and say like, yeah, his back is actually fine. I don't know, maybe he just needs a cortisone shot like the old bull got a few days ago. How's your back feeling, Dad? Could you play some hockey games right now?
My back's feeling good. I got my cortisone
See,
shot 2 days ago, but
you and
we'll
McQueen.
see. That could wear off at any moment. So I heard they can last forever. It can last 2 days. So far so
Yep.
good. I do not want my 19-year-old 7th overall pick having a back issue. I don't even trust our Boston doctors with that. So yeah,
what you should have
dude's
done,
like a
Dad,
freak.
is you should have came
I
up here
mean,
to get your shot, and then you could have looked around the waiting room to see if McQueen was waiting in the waiting room. You could be like, aha, you are falling
yeah.
apart.
I mean, like, hey, good luck, kid. Okay, but no bueno. You're not coming to the Bruins. Sorry.
Yep.
So
So I mean, they got this guy talking on the stage. Is this Bettman?
That's Bettman.
That's Bettman. So they got
that's Batman.
the commissioner on the
Yep.
stage. I've already seen one like Islanders kid walking around in a Schaefer jersey. So that is great news, right? The defenseman is going. I don't think that was a surprise, but he's going. So
I
Yeah.
mean, if he falls to us, I think we should absolutely take him.
you're gonna make his head explode.
I-
But I think that's totally the play.
Like,
But if he falls for us, it has to be a good reason, right? But yeah.
yeah, he's not falling to us.
No, he's not. He's not.
Tim, you bite your tongue.
So
Remember,
I
I'm
think there's two
computer
reasons
I'm
why.
computer savvy. I will block you out of this picture. I will do it.
I
Don't
think
make
there's
me
two
do it.
really, really big reasons why. One is one kind of gets phased out if he falls this far. But I was going to say, if you get him early, you can trade him for something better, right?
Yeah.
Because when I think of defensemen like that, I'm thinking Cal McCarr and players like that are like offensive defensemen that are really, really slick. And there are
Yeah.
not a lot of them, and teams need them.
Yeah.
I mean, there's zero chance of it happening. I
Yeah.
actually compared him to Nicholas Lidstrom. That's a little before you two young bucks time. But McCaw's a good comparison as well. But luckily, we don't have to worry about any defenseman sliding to us because that dude's getting taken in about 3 minutes. So
Yeah.
we could just focus on these forwards. I don't know, Matt. You want to throw them up?
Yeah, we know we should bring up the old Bulls list. I gotta make sure this is good. 1 second. I gotta find the scene or the people. Oh, here it is. Found it. Here we go. This is what
Boom.
everybody's been waiting for. The old Bulls in the lab. He's got some names on here. The Bergeron dropping that's almost sacrilege. But I think Frondell
I've
might have been
watched
the
a
guy.
lot of tape on these kids. I've watched a lot of tape.
I think Frondell might have been the guy that I saw associated with that two-way ability, and it does suck because
He
I
does.
have seen him go super high recently. But I would, but at the same time, maybe Sweeney's got something against the Swedish, and he's gonna like storm in AHL like they have for Lysel. So I don't know, but yeah.
Yeah. But guys, remember, preference this list by saying, to me, this is their absolute ceiling. Like this is if this is as good as this player could get. Can't get any better than this. Like this is an absolute grand slam. There's a good chance that all of these players aren't as good as these comparisons I have, but it's fine as long as they're a little less than these players. Because when you're talking the top seven, you need a generational, close to a generational talent for that pick to be for your team. So, Lindros, you guys don't, you're not gonna remember any of these guys. You guys are too young for this. This is for my older parts, my older counterparts here who would know these names. I left Martin with question marks for a reason. I'll touch on him later because the player I see in him is actually a current player. So we'll leave that for him. But I don't know. You guys watch some film. Who would your list be?
So the first two things I think that stand out the most to me is the Desnoyer kid and the Hagens kid, and also O'Brien, right? So pick is in. No surprise, it's going to be Schaefer. I'm gonna let this happen real quick for the first overall pick. Okay, he's gone. All right,
Shot.
Yeah, so that's locked in. So the O'Brien kid, we watched some tape on him, and one thing I noticed a lot was he was looking to pass a ton, right? And it's almost one thing that scares me and he was the first kid I watched at because I know you've been talking about him a lot, but always looking to pass, and I'm like, well, who the frick on our team is going to be able to finish? Because we have almost no finishers in this roster at this point, other than Pasternak. And I guess Geeky's not even signed yet, and I don't even know if you can call him a finisher. But that kind of stood out to me. The other thing, like Tim noted was like the amount of space and stuff O'Brien was working with. So what were your thoughts on the O'Brien kid? He was like the little guy. He dangled a lot.
Yeah, and stepping up to the NHL level, like that space is not going to be there.
Especially short strides too. Remember they talked about his speed.
Yeah, and those crafty mitts trying to get through. I was like, the stick lifts in the NHL, they're much more savage. I just don't see that stuff translating as easily, and he'll get bodied off his lines. I worry about that.
I think he's still exciting at 7. I would just be shocked if he goes like third overall behind Misa. Dad, would you say like this is a list of like who people you'd be excited for, and maybe some of these guys are lower because you don't think they're going to get to us, or if you were drafting third overall because Misa's gone, are you taking O'Brien right off the bat? Because I think that's the thing that stands out the most on this list.
Yes. So this is the list that I devised from what I would do if I'm the Bruins, and if any of these players slip to me. It's this order. It's Misa. As far as I'm concerned, Misa. I wish the Bruins would try to trade up for him. It would take a ton.
Yeah.
I think there's Misa, and then there's a big drop from the next 6 guys.
I didn't watch a single second of Misa.
The analytics and numbers definitely show that. Like Misa and Schaefer are like top echelon tier, and the next one's like good, but there was definitely a gap there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want I would love Misa. I wouldn't mind the Bruins giving up the farm like a lot for him. I don't think they're going to do it because there's been no rumors whatsoever. But this is my order of if any of these play, like let's say any, let's say the next 6 guys are
Our
people we've
defenseman.
never heard of,
Yeah.
and all of these guys are available to the Bruins. I would want Misa first. Okay, if he's not there, I want O'Brien second, Desanoy, Frondell, Mont. I want him in this order for specific reasons. And I hear what you guys hear about O'Brien, but he's not small, guys. He's 6'2". He's
He's
just
6'2"?
thin because he just turned 18.
Oh
Like
man, I'm mixing
literally
up
just
pipes.
turned 18 like last week.
Yeah,
So not a
I
guy
do
who's
know
going
he
to
was
be
one of the younger
returning
guys.
next year.
The one we were thinking of was 5'11".
Yeah, who's the 5'11" guy? Is that Desnoyer?
5'11" is Hagens. That's Hagens.
Oh, I watch. Okay, all right.
Yes, that's Hagens.
So what do you love about O'Brien so much? Why is this O'Brien love affair?
He has absolute elite passing ability. And the setup, it just screams at him. Oh, it's back when he had Brett Hall and Cam Neely. He is just a wizard.
Who's going to be his Brett
with
Hall and Cam
passing the
Neely
puck.
though? That's the question on this roster.
What's that?
Who's going to be his Brett Hall and Cam Neely on this roster? That's what's concerning. And
Well,
I
it
will
would be
give.
Pasta in 2 years. It would be Pasta. That's who his guy would be. And he
Yeah.
has a sneaky good knack for roofing pucks.
I know he roofed
You
a
know, you
lot
watch
of
his
the
film.
highlights. Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of roofing it.
And in tight as
Yeah.
well. Like
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, and that takes skill. I mean, so he's not just strictly a passer like a point guard on ice. He has scoring ability too. He can bury the puck if you give him a little bit of an opening. So I just, man, I was just blown away by this kid's vision. He's like a Harlem Globetrotter point guard out there, just behind the back passes. And there's times where you're like, how did he see that guy? Go and watch his highlight reel, and just some of those passes. Look at the traffic that's between him and the guy he's passing to, and then ask yourself, how the hell did he see that guy? How the hell did he get the puck to him? He is a magician with the puck. That's my guy right there.
No, I do like him. I do like him. And one thing I also noticed is like between his first and second year in the OHL, that's what the league's called, the OHL, right?
Yeah.
In his second year, he like doubled the amount of goals he scored. So I think his first year he was like 16. Next year he was like mid 30s for goals. So it showed a lot of goal, like a lot of growth in that way, right? The
Yeah.
Desnoyer kid, he was very similar to O'Brien, like almost exactly. The one thing that I think we liked about him was that he had the longer strides, better speed than O'Brien, and in a lot of his highlights, he was putting space between him and the guy behind him in kind of a major way, and that really jumped out, and I liked that a lot.
there was one particular replay where he got the space on him, but then kept the guys wide, and then slowed off and waited for the guy to come straight through the slot and dished the
perfect pass to his teammate. Another really good facilitator, right? But I think like a better skater. So that's why I would probably put this guy, Desnoyer over O'Brien. Is there a reason why you would say O'Brien's better than Desnoyer, Dad, or was it just the level of facilitating? Because I mean, O'Brien is definitely the better facilitator, but Desnoyer's no slouch.
Yeah, no. Listen, when I have these guys ranked like this Desnoyer is like really close.
Yeah,
Like
small margin.
most people have Frondell ahead of him, and I don't. I just feel like I saw Frondell, and I just don't feel like he has the offensive skill that O'Brien and Desnoyer have. So I have Desnoyer really close second behind O'Brien. I mean, let's not even count Misa because there's no way he's getting to us. He's going any minute now
Yeah.
to San Jose, so it's not even worth talking about him. So I love Desnoyer. If he slips to 7 and the Bruins and him and O'Brien are there and the Bruins take him, I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with that. So I don't have a problem with the Bruins taking anybody you see in front of you except for Martin. To me, Martin,
Yeah.
he's one of these late riser guys, right? He wasn't like, you start watching film and next thing you know, people start talking about him. They're watching the Florida Panthers in the playoffs and they're drawing comparisons to him. Oh, he's kind of like Sam Bennett. He's kind of like Kachuk, blah, blah, blah. So who I see a bigger Brad Marchand. That's what I see. he can pivot well, stop on a dime. He's got a sneaky good shot. He likes body contact. He gets under people's skin. So that's, I think, his absolute ceiling is he's like a slightly bigger Brad Marchand,
Yeah.
which is good.
I
I mean, we would take that. I just, I,
not
I
at
don't
7.
know. His
Not at 7.
floor, his floor is really low, though, um, according to a lot of scouts. Like
Yeah.
what they're saying is he could possibly be. Some scouts see him as like a 20 goal a year guy.
Yeah.
Like, so people are really high on, some scouts are really high on him. They think he's going to be, Kachuk, Bennett. Some people see him as a 15 to 20 score, like second line center guy. And I
Yeah.
don't like that.
So I mean, I'm wondering, like, I know, like, a lot of the highlights you're watching for these OHL guys are against, these OHL teams, right? So you have Hagen's really low on this list, right? But this kid is, carrying USA, setting records for USA in these national, international tournaments. He's playing in one of the biggest hockey colleges in the world, and he's leading all other freshmen in points. And here he is, number 6 on your list. I mean, is that a little disrespectful, or like is there something you're not considering there, or why is he so low?
Okay, so here's why I have Hagen's low. He was like gangbusters for Team USA.
Yeah,
He was by far the best player out of everyone in that tournament. He was awesome. Then he goes to BC, and he had a very pedestrian season with BC. It was, I believe, 35 points in 35 games, 10 goals, 25 assists. And make no mistake about it, I watched every single point by him. 4 his assists shouldn't even count. They were like kind of those assists where, he just kind of gave it to a guy and then the guy did all the work and made the nice pass and someone else buried it. It's like the second assist in hockey. Like so 4 of his assists were like nothing, like he doesn't really deserve credit for it, even though was the second guy to touch it. Another one of his assists was off an empty netter. He just kind of threw it out to center ice. His teammate got it, threw it in. So if you look at it for Boston College, he really had, in my mind, 10 goals and 20 assists. 10 goals and what is it? 20 assists in,
yeah,
what is it?
35 games.
35 games, something like that.
I
So
think the important thing to take into account is I've heard several times that like the OHL is easier than NCAA. Like,
Yes.
it's a
is.
much different.
Yeah, and Sweeney mentioned that specifically in the press conference about Letourneau, as he said he would have benefited from a year
Yep.
in the OHL, right? Because he couldn't hang with the NCAA, and that's what a lot of these guys are in the OHL. So it's like it's skewed. And one of the graphic we saw in one of the reports on him was he doesn't fare too bad when you look at the other historically draft eligible NCAA players, right? So he's around a point a game. I know you're throwing some of his points out, but I'd imagine these other players also have some empty netters, right? Like,
Sure.
I mean, so you got to be aware of that. But like,
Here's another thing, guys. He is the short one you're talking about. Everyone else on this list is over 6 feet. He's 5'11", does not have blazing speed, and some of the scouting reports say that he doesn't shy away from the corners, but he's not throwing his weight around in there. That could change in time, but there was all that combined, the size, the scout, what the scouts say about him against the boards and in the corners. And then I saw 4 of it, like really 5 of his assists shouldn't have counted. So, he's got 10 goals, 20 assists in 35 games in Boston College. And I don't know. But I'd rather have the other guys ahead of him.
yeah, all right, respect the opinion. I mean, we won't know for years, right? At this point, but
True.
I mean, at this point, we're
yeah.
so close to the draft actually getting exciting because after Misa, like you said, the margins are so thin with these guys. So I'm really curious.
Nobody knows.
I'm really curious how many of the experts were right, how high some of these guys have risen. Like you talked about the Martin kid. Of course, I don't think he's going to be called third, but how low McQueen is dropped, right? How bad is that back? And I think we'll know pretty early because McQueen was rated pretty high, especially for his physical attributes, the things you can't teach. So we'll
Yeah.
see.
Well, what do you guys? Is there anybody on the board that you would put towards the bottom of this list?
Should probably just wait a second. We're about to hear the second pick.
Ready? Yeah, about to announce Misa. Michael Misa. Okay.
Shocker. Okay. The two good ones are gone.
Yeah. Now on this
Now the
list,
draft
then,
begins.
I know we've had limited time, right? Tim and I have been getting assaulted by children for the last week. I mean, is anybody in this list, Tim, do you think my dad has too high? Do you disagree emphatically with O'Brien being that high? Like, I mean, I know we didn't spend too much time on Frondell, or I spent a little time on Martone, but not much myself. Anybody on that list?
Honestly, I didn't think anyone was like. I was worried about Hagen, the short one. That was
Yeah.
my worry, and I was worried about. I think he was the one that looked slick with his puck handling, but I was like, as soon as you get to the NHL, like all of that goes away.
Yeah.
But I think aside from that,
Yeah.
I think everything hits for me.
Yeah. I mean, Martone, right? Like, I've read some things about like personality with him, but at the same time, he's a captain of his OHL team. In the video I was watching about him, they talked about his relatively good compete level. They said that he's improved in that regard. I don't know what he looked like last year, but I guess there was some kind of character concerns there. So that kind of troubled me a little bit. The Frondell kid, Dad. I mean, can you give us a little insight on Frondell, because I don't think Tim or I really have much information on him. What would you like about him so much?
Well, Martone also is not a center; he's a winger.
That's true.
So, that's kind of what had me drop him, a little lower than some people have him. But he's a very skilled winger. So, I would. He's not a center, which I'm not crazy about. But if they took him, he's a big boy with a lot of talent, moves really well for his size. Frondell, he's just, he's good. He's good, and if the Bruins somehow got him, he would be the fastest player on this
Really?
board to make the big club, because he's the best, with the exception of the defensive player that went number one. This kid plays good defense already. So it's one of those where this kid might have he's probably the only one that you see up there that has a shot of playing in year one as a rookie.
Wow.
So he's a good two-way player, so that's probably why he's more likely to go number three. He's not the consensus number three pick on mock boards, but he's the highest percentage of these players you see. He's usually number three on most mock boards.
Yeah. And you said he's probably one of the faster players in this draft?
Yeah, he's got good speed. He's got a good ability. I just feel like his offensive skill isn't as good as O'Brien and Desnoyers. I just don't think it is. I don't think his hands are as good. I don't think his vision, his passing are as good. His shooting. It's not that they're bad. They're not bad. I just don't think those things are on the level of those two guys.
Man, they are milking these picks. What time is it? It is 7:31, and we are 2 picks into the 7
Oh my
o'clock
goodness.
draft.
That
Oh
is
my Lanta.
taking a page out of the NFL and NBA's
30
playbook, that's for sure. Holy
31
cow.
minutes for 2 picks. This better say the pick is in for Chicago, because if it starts counting down, I'm gonna be very disappointed in the NHL.
But this is where the fun begins right now. Nobody knows for sure. Like, everyone knew those two guys are going 1 and 2. That was basically in cement. So here it is now. It's
The
People
number
think
one
Higgins might
guy.
fly. Listen, just because he's low on the old Bulls list here, a lot of people think he's going 3 or 4 Higgins. So
Oh yeah.
we'll have to see.
Make I don't know who Megan is, but Megan, that's their expert they're using for the draft tracker, and she has Hagen's the third best. Brady Martin's at number 7, so I'm really interested to see if the Blackhawks agree with you. Is Bedard a center? Is do you know?
I think so.
So if Bedard's a center, I wonder if they gravitate towards one of these like natural winning wingers like Martone or something.
So that is a good choice because someone brought that up, but one of them, Bedard can play wing. They were saying,
Yeah.
or whoever, the Frondell kid. They a lot of people want him paired with him, and he'll move to wing. Like these guys can move to wing if they have to.
I wonder if there's any.
It's
yeah. But sorry.
It's nice that they're a center because it's just easier to go from center to a wing than it is to be a winger your whole life and go to center.
Yeah.
It's just tougher to do that. So if Bedard stays at center and Frondell has to get bumped to wing because then that's fine. Like those two will be just fine and they'll be really good. Those two.
So there's another consideration which I've kind of only just thought about, but I don't know if you guys have been tracking the new CBA agreement that they've been touting as that they're looking to ratify. But one of the things they're doing that they want to do is unify when drafted players must be signed. Like,
oh really?
Yeah. So right now, when you draft a player, it will often depend on what league they're coming from, right? So like the OHL, like 17, whereas like NCAA, they might be a bit older, and you get, I forget, like it's either like 4 years or 5 years or what I think it's 4 years of draft protection on that player before they become a unrestricted free agent.
Yeah.
And they're unifying it now, so it just becomes 22 years of age, no matter what league
really?
they're from.
Wow.
So like if you draft a player from the OHL at 17, you're going to get that, like you potentially protected much longer than say an NCAA player.
That's crazy.
On the same token, an NCAA player is probably at a higher caliber already. So I don't know if that plays at all.
That's good to know. Absolutely. Oh, looks like the pick is in. So Chicago spared us waiting the entire time.
I mean, it was still like 45 seconds left on the clock. So,
well, Gary's coming out.
Oh, is it?
Nice.
Oh, they didn't save us much time then. Here we go.
I think they took a little while to get started. The first pick, I feel like, wasn't until like quarter 20 past.
Here we go.
Selection for the Chicago Blackhawks is one of the most iconic players.
Take Martin and McQueen. Get those out of the way.
Martin's third. If Martin goes third overall, I mean,
they're gonna do someone gets to announce it every time.
Yeah, so they got to introduce, who's
this?
But
But Gary had to announce the first one.
Yeah. Got to keep first things first. Oh, this guy.
This is Jeremy Roenick.
Didn't he play for the Flyers? Why is he?
No. Lindros played for the Flyers. Roenick played for Chicago.
Oh, he did? Okay. I remember.
So, fun fact, that all-time popular hockey game, NHL 94 for Sega, like it's the most popular hockey game of all time. He was the best player in it by far.
Yeah.
Roenick was just about unstoppable.
You didn't play him that, though, of course, right? You stuck to the Bruins like a true fan?
Oh, yeah. No. I had a secret shot with Neely coming down the right wing that he buried like 80% of the time. It pissed my friends off so much. We had a little tournament for it.
Yeah.
Mike Mantha at his house, and because everyone thought they were the best, but of course the old Bulls showed up and whooped everyone's ass. They called me a cheetah. They didn't give me my little prize money, sour grapes.
Oh wow!
Whatever.
There you go.
Anton
Frondell. Oh, I kind of really wanted
it is.
him.
Yep, Frondell.
He actually might have been my guy, especially you put Bergeron next to him. It's like, dang. Frondell.
Yeah. He's already a pretty good defensive player, so that's good. When these kids just turn 18, and they care about the defensive end, hockey teams like that.
Yeah.
You know what? And I think it's tough because the European leagues are generating some real diamonds, especially in the NBA. because they put
Yeah.
these kids up against grown men, and
Yep.
the ones who survive and make it so that they look good enough to go this high, they got to be special, right? Because they're going against grown man strength every single day, and I think it translates pretty well. So him playing those international leagues is, I think, a big selling point.
It does. It's not like it used to be. Like European players used to be known as soft, like in all sports, and that's not the case anymore. You're not doing your homework if you consider them soft. That's just not how it is. And they're starting to not dominate both sports, but I mean they're a significant factor. That's for sure.
He only had 25 points in 29 games, Dad. How many were empty netters? Freaking punk. Were you checking him out for his garbage assists? Huh? There's only 29 of them. 29 of them.
No, I just his
You just
numbers
really
just
hate Higgins. That's what it is.
So he's another 17-year-old as well.
Another 17, yeah, 17-year-old.
Just big boy for 17.
yeah. Yeah, he's already filled out. So that is the problem with O'Brien. He is a little twig right now, but he's 6'2", and 6'2", just turned 18 like last week. He just needs to hit the weight room.
So
That's
so
all.
the Hawks have the Celebrini kid, right? What does he play? Do you know?
Wait, the Hawks have Celebrini?
I'm sorry, the
Sharks. Yeah.
have Celebrini, right?
Yeah.
What does he play? Is he a forward or is he?
Oh, he's a forward.
He's a forward.
Yeah.
So now they got Celebrini, and Misa. I'm so jealous.
They're loaded.
And now you got
They're
the
loaded with
Blackhawks.
centers. Yeah.
Now you got the Blackhawks with Frondell and Bedard on their team.
Pretty sure San Jose's got another.
Another young talented guy.
They do. They have like 3 really good centers. Yeah. One
The
of them's
Bruins-
gonna have to move the wing. That's the way it is.
The Bruins really don't have anybody to get super excited about. I mean, outside of Pacha, but like they've done a great job at quelling really any excitement around that kid. So it's been I think a lot tougher. But
Will Smith they have as well.
Will Smith, is he
That's San
special?
Jose. Yeah, Will Smith was one of the top draft picks last year.
Man.
I think he's just
But
an incredible player. It was great to get to know him throughout
they're
the
in a
year.
position where
Bill Doris.
they can have a legit rebuild and be on the level with a Colorado Avalanche or, even the Florida Panthers. They picked up some legit prospects. I'll give this to Sweeney, and I can't stand giving him a compliment. I mean, a monkey could have made those trades at the trade deadline, but he did well. It was a huge buyer's market. To see what we got for those 3 bums blows me away. Harlow, Frederick, and Coyle, we got first and second round picks and real prospects. That Minton kid is a real prospect. That Zellers kid, real prospect.
Yeah,
Like,
there's some
those
excitement
are
there.
good, skilled kids, and he didn't botch it. But these second round, we need to hit on at least one of those second round picks in this draft. We absolutely positively need to hit a home run with this 7th overall pick.
So I'm curious, and I think I know you already your opinion, but the Utah Mammoth. How do you feel about the new name and the new logo?
I wish it was the Yeti, but I get that there was licensing issues with the Yeti brand already.
Oh, really? Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't know that context, but no, I like it a lot. I think that it's a good rebrand,
Yeah, I can work with Mammoth. That's fine.
and I like the logo. It's pretty simple. Better than the
I liked it.
Commanders.
I thought it was badass. I feel like the Kraken, they missed out their opportunity. When I heard that, I liked that name when it first was revealed. I'm like, oh, that's a good name for a hockey team. I'm like, that's going to be a badass logo. No, it's like an S with a red eye.
Yeah, no, I agree, but I
It's a
do
ski
like Kraken
monster.
for Seattle too. That's a really good.
Yeah, it's like get some. You make it into anything. It's a sea monster. Get creative. But no, they kind of blew it as far as I'm concerned.
What's the next expansion team, and what's their mascot going to be?
The Worcester Crackheads. Put one in the DCU Center downtown.
What's that?
He said, "What's the next expansion team?" I said, "The Worcester Crackheads." I said, "You put one in the DCU Center." We used to have the Ice Cats back in the day. It was the Sharks farm team.
Oh, I remember that. Listen, don't be Worcester's cleaning itself up. Don't be dissing Worcester.
Yeah. Here we go. I mean, Frondell. I don't know how much he jumped up the board for people. I don't think I saw him at 3, like anywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, look at some.
See,
Like, what are
my
these
big-
videos of?
What's that? The one where they're showing right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Frondell.
Why does it look like it was recorded in 1998? Those are
That
the
is a good
worst
point.
quality videos I've ever seen.
To this from
I
Sweden.
didn't think there was cameras alive today that were capable of looking like that, but apparently they are.
His mother couldn't have picked him out in that crowd. It's like it's just not like that was so like that could have been anybody.
Exactly. But, like my biggest fear is, again, they get cute and they take like McQueen or this Eklund kid I keep hearing about.
I know his name
Like,
keeps
oh my
popping up.
God.
Why does it keep standing out to me? I don't like it.
I will lose my mind. Absolutely lose my mind.
Here we go. He's gonna go with the Hagens.
Oh, we're gonna bring someone
Well,
out
we're gonna
first.
bring someone out, yeah.
He's got to stroke somebody's ego real fast.
The next pick is for the Utah Mammoth. Joining us from Utah.
I'm not worried about O'Brien. I feel like
Are they-
O'Brien's definitely gonna be there at 7.
That Tony Fina?
Desnoy is the guy I want to
Yeah.
slip to 7.
A
I
PGA
want
Tour guy.
Desnoy to
Yeah,
slip to
Tony
7.
Fina. Yeah, he's from Utah.
But I mean,
Why are we doing this at the beginning of
know.
the draft?
doing it at the beginning of the draft, you got the guy's not even there. He's on a Zoom call.
I don't like. Usually we do this right in like later rounds, bring out special guests. Like, why are we doing this in the beginning of the
Because
draft?
the NFL did this.
Yeah.
At the beginning? Oh,
Yeah. NFL did exactly the same. Roger Goodell picked, like I said, the first one. Then after that, there was some celebrity from each team.
Really? I thought Rod. Yeah. That's
all right.
what in the
But
world is this?
like I was saying, Desnoyer is a name I don't want to get called. I
Where
feel
is
like
this draft, by
O'Brien
the way?
will be there. What's that?
Where is this draft?
Probably Vegas. I don't know.
If it's in Vegas and this guy zoomed in and not like physically
Oh.
there. Oh, they took the Snoyers.
Yep.
Wow, I'm kind of pissed
Just
about
as
that.
I was saying it. Just as I
Yeah,
was
they-
saying it.
I kind of.
Oh, they're gonna end up with. They're gonna take Hagens if he slides.
They're in LA.
Ugh.
They're in LA. Okay. Really good pick for them. He's actually out of all the guys. I think he's probably the guy I wanted the most.
Yeah.
I wanted him to slip because I feel like the Bruins would have taken him.
6'2", 178. He's growing to that
I'm
frame.
not as-
that frame.
I'm not as confident if at 7 O'Brien and Hagens are there. I don't have any confidence the Bruins are going to take O'Brien. I just think they'll
How
go
tall
with
is O'Brien?
Hagens.
Can you look? 6'2", Jake
What's that?
O'Brien, 6'2". You're right.
Yeah,
They go-
he just needs to fill out. He's a big boy.
Funny, NHL had Desnoy as number 7 on there.
Really?
Yeah.
Be interesting.
Oh, at least it looks like these cameras are somewhat high def.
Oh yeah, the OHL I think did a good job.
Oh yeah.
It was that.
They actually have viewership.
Yeah, I'm shocked that the European teams don't. I mean, come on, like Sweden, there's nothing to do there except watch hockey.
Looked like they sent that from AOL Internet. That was awful.
84 points, 49 assists. I mean, yeah, no, I definitely wanted this kid. Big kid too.
Yeah.
I'm really glad this draft has this much depth, right? Because it sucks to see him go, but
It's okay. Yeah.
there's a lot of really good players still left. So
Yeah. They just
Come on,
again don't screw the pooch and take freaking Eklund or McQueen or God forbid a defenseman. Holy cow!
We got one comment. Who's this from? This is from Patrick
Patrick,
Ryan.
love
Patrick.
Patrick.
Bruins will get one of Hagens, Martin, or O'Brien. I think either of those players will be strong player. Patrick, how do you feel about Hagen's size? It's 5'10". He's a shorty. Um, I mean, is there any concern for you there? How much does Hagens weigh?
Yeah, we're awesome. Hey,
186. So Hagens is 4 inches shorter than O'Brien, but weighs about 10 pounds more than O'Brien. I mean, of course, you can always add weight. So
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's better to be tall and skinny and fill out later.
That's
Yeah,
because
Patrick. Honestly, I'd be fine with any three of those guys. I'm not crazy about Hagens, as you can see on my rankings, but I'll be okay with that. They take Hagens. Don't get cute and take anybody outside of number 6. Really, I don't even want Martin. I don't. To me, Martin's floor is too low. I don't want a guy who a lot of scouts feel like is going to be a second line, 15 to 20 goal scorer a year guy. Sorry, I don't want it. But Martone, like a legit power forward, I absolutely I'll take. He's not a power forward necessarily that is like Cam Neely, like slamming people into the boards and crushing them, center ice. But he's a big lumbering skater down the wing who is skilled with the puck, and he has a lot of skills. So I wouldn't mind him at all. Obviously, I've talked about O'Brien to anyone who is willing to listen to me. That is my guy. If I couldn't have Misa, O'Brien's the guy I want. So, Patrick, I would be happy with any of them.
Listen, I'm really hoping for everyone's sake that we take O'Brien and we don't pass on him and he turns out to be another Barzell, because we'll never hear the end of it. My dad will lose his mind. My dad has nightmares of Barzell. Hagens is a high ceiling. He needs more time in college, but I think as he matures, he'll be a dynamic player, dynamic playmaker. I agree, Patrick, and I think my dad weights pretty oddly with the OHL and the NCAA. I know he thinks that Hagens had some junk points, but I think there is some credit to the size stuff. I don't know.
I mean, I think he weighs more because he's must be older, right? Being in the NCAA versus OHL.
Probably.
I assume that O'Brien is probably 17.
O'Brien's on the younger end. I think he just turned 18.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Hagens
Patrick,
is definitely older.
He does have a high ceiling, and I think there's a great chance Hagens could be good. There's just some things, like I'm trying to eliminate risk here. The fact that he's small, he's 5'11". Scouting report says he shies away a bit from the boards and the corners. Not crazy about that. And I don't know. He was absolutely awesome in that, in that tournament, the world tournament. Just a little underwhelming at BC, even though I know it's BC, NCAA is tougher and all that stuff. I wish he had better numbers with them. So
No,
again,
I think
I'm not going to go nuts like in a negative way if they take Hagens. That's for sure.
I'm curious. Like, does Patras struggles with injuries? This is for Tim and you, Dad. But first, Tim, does Patras struggles with injuries because of his size make you any more concerned about Hagens? Because it kind of gives me a little bit of pause because Patras just can't seem to get healthy.
So I don't think it's his size, like height. I think it's his development, like where he was age wise and his like weight and like his physical like muscle build and all of that. He wasn't at the level he needed to be. Like I can see him making those strides and getting there, but he did have to deal with that injury because he wasn't, and he was getting crushed on the boards.
Yeah.
So
it's like, how do we keep Hagens alive long enough for him to actually make
Hagens is
in the NHL?
Hagens is already bigger than Patras.
Yes. Already heavier. Yeah.
Yeah.
Already weighs more, Dad.
I don't know if he's physically stronger or not, but
yeah. How about you, Dad? Is Patra, you touching the stove, and that's why you're afraid of the size issue, or does that have nothing to do with it?
I mean, that's part of it. It's you guys know how big of a fan I am of Patras, and that is the issue with him right now is he has trouble staying on the ice. He has trouble with injuries, and Trouble with the Bruins, just not giving him a legit chance with talented players. Also, that's part of his problem too. But I would hope Poitras has had a taste of NHL life now for 2 seasons. I would hope he is busting his butt this offseason to put on muscle, get into a good stretching program, kind of like Tom Brady did with his TB talk. Make fun of you want about Alex Guerrero. Tom
Yeah.
Brady missed, 1 season and didn't miss another game ever again. So those methods obviously work. The stretching, putting on weight and muscle. Hopefully that kid learned his lesson his first 2 seasons and he comes back a thicker, better built player.
Yeah. No, I fingers crossed. And I know we got another guy zoomed in. I mean, come on. Like,
Looks
we
like
go
another
again.
golfer.
this is Shea Weber.
Oh,
This is a fenceman.
he's just on the golf course. Got
Yeah.
it.
He's
like, yeah,
literally on
come
the
inside.
golf course.
They're
Like-
using the same camera they use for Frondell's highlight videos.
This is a
He
phone
probably
camera.
told ESPN, no, you're gonna wait for me until I hit the shot. And
Yeah.
then I will tell you when I'm ready to come on. Holy
Oh, my
cow.
Atlanta. I mean, the NHL obviously has no pull with any of these people. They couldn't get any of these people to come out. The only person they got out there was the wrestling guy.
Wow. Yes.
Who'd they take?
He's
Oh,
gone.
Kenny Martin. Hey.
Yes. All right.
Hey, that's really good.
I mean, Martin was the highest on. I forget what her name was, but her list as well.
Who?
Remember the list of the. It said something best available.
She had. I thought she had Hagen's.
No, she had Martin as net. As
Oh,
number
look, he's
5.
got puppies. I mean, I don't know what that has to do with anything.
That's fantastic.
Oh, hey, I'll give the NHL this. There's no like dead parents, grieving best friends nonsense, right? This is like really about the player, which I appreciate. They're not
Yeah.
trying to milk it.
And
like
they are
milk the
rolling
story.
through this quicker than the NFL
yeah.
for sure.
NFL, I think, gave 5 minutes for the first round or something like that.
All right. So we're guaranteed to have O'Brien, Martone, Hagens. We're guaranteed to have 2 of those guys there.
I thought you were going to say guaranteed to pick one of them. And I was like, nothing's guaranteed.
Yeah.
between-
No. I wish
They're
to.
guaranteed to be there.
No trades either, guys. No trades yet.
Well, they already trade. There was already one trade went through, right?
I didn't hear one.
Didn't
There was.
Colorado make a trade?
The Canadians made a
11
trade with the Islanders for the 16 and 17. I didn't see anything about
Yeah, they
Colorado.
gave up a lot.
Yeah, it was a lot.
And I mentioned to Tim, like that Dobson guy was in the mix of names mentioned for our 7th overall pick. So hopefully that means that that's dead, and we're not going to hear any nonsense about us trading out of this spot.
Yeah, no, Peter DiPadua cracked a joke that they're going to give up that 16th and 17th pick for our 7th pick, and I will just lose my mind if they do that. Absolutely lose my mind.
Yeah, a little bit. So
I
Charlie
don't know if
Coyle's on
that's
the
good.
move. So Tim has a trade that was already done, but it's not nothing crazy.
Yeah. So Charlie Coyle and Miles Wood were traded from Colorado to Columbus Blue Jackets in exchange for forward prospect Gavin Brindley, a 3rd-round pick in this draft, and a conditional 2nd-round pick in 2027.
Man, Charlie Coyle on the move.
Tim, you think Colorado regrets that trade with the Bruins?
Especially with Zellers. That Zellers
They
kid broke
gave
a
up
record.
Zellers and a 2nd-round pick for Charlie flipping Coyle. Thank you very much.
I mean, it's tough because Colorado thought they had a chance, right? And they needed
did.
something. It's like hindsight's 2020. They felt like that's what they needed to do.
Coyle is a gamer too. So.
Yeah, but I don't think he had enough time to gel with that team, and he's a good 3rd-line center. I don't think he's realistically better than that.
I know, and
Yeah.
Dad, I know you talked about like the bums and stuff like that, but like at least like Frederick made a decent impact on that Oilers team. Like I think they probably still make the finals without him, but he definitely made a good impact.
I mean, so much so they signed him to an 8-year deal.
Man,
You don't think?
that's not what the Oilers fans were saying, because when that word came out that gonna sign him to an 8-year contract, right? I'm on Twitter. I jumped into the comments, of course, like 1,000 comments, and it was just one Edmonton Oiler fan after another saying why he was invisible, why he was invisible. Like that, man, I didn't watch the games enough to have my own opinion, but from what I understand, Frederick didn't have a lot of points, and I saw all those Oilers fans like, why the hell are we gonna do that? It better be like very like 2 million a year. He was invisible in the playoffs. I just saw
I
that
mean,
a lot. So, the pick is in.
I was going to say,
Let's
I
see who
feel
the
like it's
guest
hard
speaker is.
to.
So making this selection,
Yeah, you feel like it's hard. What?
It's hard for Frederick to make an impact when the top two are getting like half of the ice time of the whole team. So
That's true. And they lost
Yeah.
Hyman too, which is big.
yeah,
But obviously they liked him enough. What the frick?
Chuck.
Charles Barkley?
What's he got
What?
to do with Philly?
I don't know. Oh, well, he played for the 76ers.
Did he? Okay, yeah.
Did he? For a little bit, right?
But he was Phoenix
Oh
Suns.
yeah,
wasn't
no, he mostly played for the Philadelphia 76ers.
he? Okay.
He played for the Suns. Yeah. Is he from Philly? Charles?
Oh,
He
I
might
don't
be
know if he's from there.
No, he's from the South. He's from the South.
Yeah.
He must like that camera angle because he looks thin there.
I'll tell-
He's been probably on the GOP ones.
Yeah. He's working on his golf swing.
Yep.
He's a funny dude.
He is.
Oh, I mean, so number
Charles
one.
is awesome. I love Barkley. He's great.
So this venue, I don't know if you see, but like it's pretty much empty, and they just like they can't get anyone to go there. You know how packed this thing would be if it was in like Chicago or Detroit or Boston or like Montreal. Like, how do you take the NHL draft and put it in LA? I mean, you're
Yeah.
just trying to be something you're not. You're not an LA league.
Like Vegas was a spectacle last year, but like LA is nothing.
No. Nobody wants to go through traffic to watch the NHL draft. Oh, Porter
Oh.
Matone.
Matone.
Here we
All
go,
right.
Dad.
All right, we're up.
If
We're up.
if McQueen gets announced, my dad is gonna lose it.
No, don't even say that.
So
It's gonna be Hagens. It's gonna be Hagens.
Who
O'Brien.
do you think? Do you think they let Chara announce it since he's going into the Hall of Fame?
I don't know. They'll probably let some like random person I've never heard about that's from Massachusetts on a Zoom call.
Yeah, it's gonna be Hagens. I'm not getting my boy O'Brien.
All right, I'm gonna. Hopefully, I don't screw this up. Okay. Oh, people. There we go. All right. We're just a little sideways.
All right, Sweeney. Really simple. Just take O'Brien or Hagens. That's it. Don't get cute. Don't try to be Belichick and try to be smarter than everyone else. Nope, do not do that.
Oh my gosh.
You
Here we
take either
go.
one of those picks, no one will have a problem with it.
Hagens, O'Brien. Dad, how excited are you gonna be if it's O'Brien?
Oh, I'm gonna be pumped. Real pumped.
Like
But
that's
I mean, don't like that Hawkeye meme. Don't give me hope. Don't give me hope.
Oh yeah. I kind of want it to be O'Brien, just for the sake of being able to torture you because of the length of this guy's career. Come on, or you can spike the ball for the the rest of it as he's like,
The only thing that would be terrible, the only thing that would suck about them taking O'Brien is I would have to admit Sweeney did something right. That's the only thing that would suck about it. I would have to at least admit he did one thing right.
But I mean, do you even give him credit? It's like Drake May, Like, it's hard to get too much credit. If he takes either Hagens or O'Brien here and they do well, it's like,
Welcome to the Flyers. We're excited. Yeah. I mean, Hagen just feels like the obvious pick. He slid. He was on a lot of draft boards and, third, fourth guy. He played at BC, Yeah, again, I'm not going to complain. They take him. Not going to complain. I think he's going to be a good player. I do.
I'm
I
so
just
nervous.
fell in love with O'Brien. That dude is just a magician with the puck and pass. He's like
Oh.
Magic Johnson on skates with his passing. It's incredible. So we'll see. What is going on now? What is this?
This is their like little room thing.
Yeah, they talk to. So he's talking to the Flyers top brass to say, "Congratulations on being a Flyer."
I'm curious. In the NFL draft, are they all physically there?
No,
No,
they
they're
don't.
in their
No,
own station.
Remember, Shador Sanders had his own party.
Oh
elsewhere?
yeah. No,
Yeah.
but I mean like the teams, they're in their own like little control.
Yes, they have their
command
own command center for miles.
Matt, you are right too. Like it's basically it's pretty empty there. There's a lot of empty
Yes.
seats there.
Yes, it's empty.
Insane.
What a shame. I mean, even the NFL had the brains to like, okay, Green Bay. That's a really good. That's a football city. I mean,
Yeah,
people
put
like
it-
come out of the woodworks to go to watch the draft in Green Bay.
You know what they should do? Rotate it through the original 6 teams.
Yes.
They'll
Yeah.
always fill it up.
They'll sell out.
Original 6.
Or take it to a market where, like, take it to Quebec City. I bet you they'd fill it out
yeah.
there.
Yeah. I don't know
How
how
is
they don't put
Quebec-
this in Canada more often.
How have they not got a hockey team? Poor Quebec.
I don't know. It does not make sense. And on their expansion talk, like they're not even getting a sniff. I don't get it.
No, they're not. Nope. It is. It's pretty crazy.
Right now,
All right, Bruins,
Vegas,
2
right?
minutes.
Oh, Vegas
2
already has
minutes
them.
to the
Nice.
pick.
Okay.
So that's Megan. Megan's best available.
Hagen's McQueen, Dad. Where's O'Brien? 3?
We'll see in a second. Yep, 3, and then Metka. But we wouldn't be picking a defenseman, so. And then Eklund and Smith. Okay.
So for him to get in the air, for him to get in the air of secret, it's something
Like, oh,
The tension is palpable right now. I am.
don't let me down. Please, I can't take any more Bruins heartache. Don't let me down. Do not trade this pick. Do not take some injury risk 6'5" guy. Do not take a winger that everyone had just out of the top 10 to get cute. Don't do that. Don't do it.
I cannot
Definitely don't
believe
take
that
a
Martin
defenseman.
kid. That Martin kid went
What's
so
that?
high. I can't believe that Martin kid went so high.
Man, I told you he was a late riser. Like one of those
Yeah, but-
guys like skyrocketing up the board.
What was he, 4th overall? He was 4th overall. Holy crap.
About Utah?
The Snoyers, I don't know where the Snoyers might have went to Utah. But either way, like that really put us in a position to have, Higgins and O'Brien on the board.
best game in the world, and so happy that he's a Flyer now.
He's so flat.
All right, here we go. Less than 30 seconds.
Thank you very much.
Oh, man. How far ahead are you, Dad? I'm at 19, 18, 17. The pick is in.
Oh, they didn't trade it. Pick is in.
Are we super far ahead of you? It says 9, 8, 7, 6.
5, 4. Yeah,
Okay,
no,
we're like
right on.
we're like a second ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your sense?
All right, come on, Gary. Send out Chara.
Yeah.
Who we
All
bringing
these,
out?
6 games.
I want Gary to stop coming out. Just send the person out.
Yeah. Just put the Zoom call up.
Trade deadline. Don Sweeney hit that amateur.
Look at that room, Dad. Dad, what I would have given to
Look, I
see.
just want to. I don't want to punch him right in the face. Look at him at the end of the table.
You know what?
Ugh.
I wish I could put Pete in that room with some boxing gloves.
I was going to say which one's a coach, but I've got no idea who he is.
Yeah. Here we go.
Making the selection for the Boston Bruins, we have a special guest. Comedian
Award-winning. Oh, is it Bill Burr?
Yeah, it's got to be.
and lifelong Bruins fan.
Is he gonna drop an F-bomb? Oh, it's
Oh,
Adam
it's
Sandler.
Nice. All right.
Oh, he's gotta
boy.
promote the movie.
Yeah.
Oh, and their New Jersey with their new logo.
Oh no. What was it? James Hagen.
I knew it. All right, I knew it.
I knew it. Oh, Dad.
It's all right. It's all right.
I'll tell you.
Higgins.
Oh, I'll tell you. Oh wait, did I lose it? Nobody's gonna be more interested in Jake O'Brien's career than the old bull. That is a
Oh
fact.
yeah. This kid better be, he better be better than O'Brien. Well,
Oh man! All right, so we do got to chat. Hagens, Patrick, he slipped. Hagens.
yeah.
So
Patrick
there
called
it
it.
is. That's the future right there. James Hagens. I mean, 4 months ago, if you said the Bruins are getting him in the drafts, I think we all believed we're drafting third overall. Right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yep.
he was the consensus like number 3 for a while. So super
Last
high
year
ceiling.
he was number one for a while
Yeah.
at one point. He was
There
actually
we
number
go.
one for a while. Yep.
The old bull is somber. You know, you're.
Hey, they didn't screw it up. Like as
Yeah.
far as at least taking
And I mean,
a player that
they
you
would have
should
got
have
a
at
real
number
good look at
7.
him.
So
Yeah. They're right there.
They would have had a really, really good look at him.
you know,
There'll be no adjustment to living in Boston either.
Yeah. And the pressure. I mean, BC has a ton of pressure. He's not playing OHL garbage time games, right? He's playing games that matter every single night.
What number did he have? 25.
Logan
well,
Cooley.
That's who they compared him
the
to.
year. That's the year. But I mean, it's just I don't know, just the height. He's a little short, but you know,
He looks pretty well built though. It looks
yeah.
like
I
his
mean, at
neck
least
could.
he's not skinny, to go with it. Like at least he has the
Yeah.
size with it. Yeah. See,
Okay.
Patrick just backed up what I said. He was the number one at one point. The consensus number one.
Okay. We got. He was preseason favorite to go number 1. He didn't have the best year. Oh, wait.
How excited
All
are
right, let's
you
listen.
to be a part of this organization and know what your NHL home is going to be?
I'm so excited. I'm so excited to be back in Boston. To be able to have that Adam Sandler make the pick, it was special.
What is this organization and this fan base getting in you?
Just hard work. Someone that will put his soul and body on the line. I'd love to win. I'm really glad that I'm in Boston.
Well, they might not be able to hear you right now, but why don't you?
Oh, of course, they can't get the audio working. These idiots. They're the only team that cannot get the audio working because they were too busy getting a stupid virtual background ready. Because I mean they just showed the room 2 seconds ago. You're not fooling anybody. So we got Patrick Ryan. He was the preseason favorite to go number 1. He didn't have the best year at BC, but there is real optimism he's going to have a great season next year and have a team that passed on him regretting it. No, completely agree. And for a freshman, he led all freshmen in the NCAA in points. So a lot of room to grow. I mean, I'm super excited next year. I might be watching some BC hockey. Yeah, Tim's always trying to get me to go to BC hockey game. Maybe I'll.
So cheap. You can get into a game for like $7.
I love the area.
Yes, there's a lot to be
That's
excited
pretty
about.
good. Nothing costs $7 anymore. That's for sure.
Yeah. All right.
all right,
Anything else,
you
Dad?
know.
Any other final thoughts?
What's your favorite movie?
It's Adam Sandler, so it's happy.
No, I mean, hey, I'm happy. I'm not ecstatic. I'd be ecstatic if they took O'Brien, but I'm happy. They didn't get stupid. I'm glad I didn't have to throw a nutty here on live TV. So
Yeah.
he slipped. Hopefully, he proves a lot of people wrong because he was supposed to be the number 1, number 3 guy, and he dropped all the way to 7. So hopefully that gives him a bit of a chip on his shoulder and works his butt off this offseason. And yeah, like you said, go BC. We'll have to watch some BC hockey.
I'm now a BC hockey fan.
Yep.
You're gonna, can't wait to watch my favorite player, Dean Letourneau, next year.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, get that bum away from him. Do not put him on a line with Letourneau.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
all right.
No.
That's the Old Bull Young Cap Off Sports podcast. We'll try and get back on here sometime soon. A lot to be excited about with this Patriots team. I've been manifesting a successful season. My dad has put his money where his mouth is and bet on the Patriots to win the division. It's like plus 900, right, Dad?
Yeah, my son and I, we do these little $5 bets, and I built it up to over $100, and I'm like, you know what? Throwing that 100 on the Patriots to win the division, and I win like $800 or something if they do. So
Yeah.
$900, something like that. Yeah.
All right. Well, I hope everybody has a good rest of their night. Go Bruins. Go BC. All right. Bye-bye.
Take care, everyone. Thanks for tuning in.